For centuries, a critical portion of the Book of Mormon was thought lost to time, until today. And Moroni did return home from the army.
Honey, I'm home. Oh, Moroni, I'm so happy you're home. How's the army doing? Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, dear. It was pretty rough out there. The men were so down on themselves, and I knew I needed to do something to inspire them, to motivate them to greatness. What happened to your coat? Oh, yes. Well, you know how I was about to tell you how I had to motivate the men? Motivate them, to inspire them, so I took off my coat and I rent it. You rented your coat? Yes, dear. I needed to inspire the men, so I took off my coat and I rent it. Old school style. Moroni, that was my birthday present to you, and you just rent it? Dear, it was for a good cause. It was to inspire the men. Okay, fine. You rent your coat. Maybe I can patch it up or something. But did it help? Well, not exactly. You see, I rent my coat, but I really felt inspired that I needed to declare something, and so I took my coat and I wrote all over it. You wrote all over your coat? That was my birthday present to you, Moroni. I mean, you just started wearing it. Well, you know what? I think a lot of people knew that. I think a lot of people knew how much this coat meant to me, so it inspired them even further. Okay, so you rent your coat and you drew all over it. Maybe not a lot of people saw it. Maybe not a lot of people saw that you rent your coat and that you drew all over it. Well, I'm not so sure about that because, after I rented and wrote on it, and I think people did recognize that it was important to me, that it was an important coat to me. But just to drive it home, I hoisted it on a pole. You hoisted it up on a pole for the entire army to see? Well, actually, it wasn't just the army, like the whole entire town was there. But it inspired them. Was Karen there? Did you see Karen there? Because if she saw you rip my birthday present to you, oh, I will never hear the end of it. I'm sorry, dear, but it did inspire the men. It inspired them, and in fact, in my declaration, I mentioned you. Oh, really? You mentioned me? I mean, like, as the source for your inspiration to, fight and to defeat the enemy? Oh, I do hope Karen was there. If Karen was there, she will never hear the end of it. Well, I didn't mention you, by name. I mentioned that we were fighting for our nation and our children and our wives. Oh, so I'm just a generic wife, listed amongst other things you're fighting for? Oh, but dear, you should have been there. I hoisted it up and everyone cheered and they threw down their own coats and they all made a covenant and I think it's going to lead us to victory. Well, fine, Moroni. Just let me have the coat. Maybe I can patch it up and maybe get some OxyClean and get the writing off. Oh, well, I did use a permanent marker, so I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue.
And thus Moroni's wife did teach Moroni how to sew. For the real story, check out Alma 46 in the Book of Mormon.
It is I, Captain Moroni, here to inspire you to rent your coat, to like, to subscribe, and to ring the bell for alerts.